Okay, so that means that everyone has given permission for this to be recorded.
Hmm.
Okay, now is there anyone, Tracy, will you let people in? So we're going to make you a co-host, which is wonderful. Thank you so much. And let's get started. I'm going to take my hair down since this is being recorded. No, I'm just kidding. Hang on. Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Joyce Raimondo, and I am hosting this program on behalf of the Pollock Krasner House and Study Center. As most of you know, we're a national landmark located in East Hampton, New York. We're about 100 miles east of New York City, and we are the home and studio of the very famous abstract expressionists Pollock and Krasner. And today I am so pleased to present our special guest, artist, and yoga practitioner, Lisa Trivell. So say hello, a Zoom hello to Lisa. And today we're going to have several different portions of this program. I will give an overview of the topic, which is unblocking creative energy. And I'm going to talk about how Pollock and Krasner was the abstract expressionist art was like a release of energy. Pollock even said his paintings were energy made visible. And then Lisa Trivell will present her art and her new programs that she has created, combining stretching and movement and even breathing with the artistic process. And you'll even have a chance to do some painting or drawing if you like. And then at the end, we'll share. So we have a lot of, hopefully, I think, enjoyable activities today. Okay.
Hmm.
Lisa, do you want to say a few words before we start, or do you want to wait till after the presentation?
Well, I'm really happy to be here. I feel very connected to the East Hampton community and to my artist friends out there, as well as my friends here on the West Coast. And yeah, I'm excited about integrating meditation and creativity.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lisa. And I can't wait myself. I could use this talk today. I'm a, I'm a little overtired. So
Yeah,
hold on.
yeah, we all have to take time out to do these techniques that I'm going to be showing you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hmm.
So I'm going to do a little screen share. And this is going to be brief. It's really by way of introduction. It's a very quick overview. So here we have the barn studio of Pollock and Krasner, which is located in the Springs, East Hampton. If you'd like to visit, you can go to pkhouse.org and arrange for your tour. We don't have just open hours, and we reopen in May for the season. So Pollock, of course, is known for his drip painting, and we're going to unpack some of the themes that Pollock and Krasner were exploring as abstract expressionist artists. So Pollock and Krasner moved to the area in 1945. They bought the property in 1946. It was very rural back then. There were only 200 people in the entire community of the Springs. And it really was an ideal life in many ways for not just Pollock and Krasner, but for artists in general. Many of these young artists moved here from New York City. The East Hampton area is spectacularly beautiful. It has beautiful forests, open land. Now, of course, today it's more built up. The light is incredible because of all the oceans and the bays that surround the area. And so this was a haven for artists as early as the late 1800s. And Pollock and Krasner had a great life. They had two dogs, and Pollock painted in the barn, Lee painted upstairs in the house. And they married, and everything was going well while Pollock was sober. And then when he lost his sobriety, things of course took a downhill turn. Pollock was sort of an he was kind of a down to earth kind of person. He grew up in the West, and he was very well suited to the local environment where there were fishermen and farmers. And Lee said that he used to love to just have quiet solitude, just to sit and look at the landscape and inner quietness. After dinner, to sit on the back porch and look at the light. So I think integrated into this talk about unleashing energy, which believe me, I need this probably more than anybody else. Hang on. um, is the idea of balance, right? So balancing the activity of being an artist, the activity of creating, the activity of stimulation, even going to museums, listening to music, whatever it might be, with an inner quietness and taking that time to rejuvenate, taking that time to restore, taking that downtime even to spark creative ideas. So this is the paradox or the sort of yin and yang of creativity. We need to be around other artists and to be around culture to stimulate ideas. We also need to sort of sit with ourselves, have that solitude, and many times, of course, people find that in nature. So Pollock says the painting has a life of its own. I try to let it come through. What does he mean by I let it come through? Come through what? It's really a main focus of abstract expressionism is the idea that your imagination, your emotions, and your energy come through, right? In a very organic way, in a very intuitive way, without any preconceived idea. They come through, and in Pollock's case, literally flow onto the canvas, right? But the painting has a life of its own. So this speaks to the idea that Pollock is not um, he's not willful about what's going to come out. He doesn't follow a sketch. He doesn't have a plan. He also doesn't have a set idea about what the painting is going to be about. The whole process is open-ended. And even the final result, Pollock says, enjoy the final result the way you enjoy music. That's not an exact quote. So what Pollock is doing here very unconventionally is he's dripping paint from sticks. He's using house paint. He's working from all four sides, placing the canvas on the floor. He's an action painter, constantly moving. But here's the key to understanding Pollock. He's not rushing, he's not haphazard, and he's not random. In fact, he says, I can control the flow of paint. He's actually very methodical and slow when he paints. You might even say, not exactly the same, but like a dancer who has fine-tuned their movements to such a degree that it looks so flowing and spontaneous. The improvisation, the mastery of improvisation comes from years of study, years of technique.
Hmm.
And here's Pollock's famous autumn rhythm. He says, I am nature, when asked, why don't you paint nature? He's not copying nature. He's not looking at nature. He's getting inspiration from nature. But more importantly, he's connecting nature to his inner life. This is where the energy comes through. And this actually connects to ancient yogic ideas. Pollock didn't study yoga, right? Pollock wasn't a religious man, also. However, the early abstract expressionists like Kandinsky and even Mondrian, they were very influenced by theosophy, which brought Eastern religious ideas to the West. And one of the primary ideas was that everything is energy. Everything in nature, every object, everything we see is energy, including ourselves. We're all connected as one, not just as people, but everything, literally is one and the same. And this moves artists to make abstract art, not creating, not painting form, because form is an illusion. The real truth is that everything is energy. And Lisa's going to help us today to how do we unlock our energy, right? There's many things that can block energy, many things, right? I'll just off the top of my head, blocking energy can be fear. It can be being a perfectionist. It could even be just being stiff physically, right? So, some of the techniques that Lisa's going to show us today is how to physically and mentally and through breathing unlock energy so that it can flow out. Some of it is a mental attitude, some of it is physical, and some of it is energy itself, like breath. So Lee says, I like a canvas to breathe and be alive. Be alive is the point, right? And
Mhm.
as limitations are something called pigment and canvas, that's the physical. Let's see if I can do it. I love this because Lee is also an action painter, and she says, I surrender. I don't will the painting. Sometimes I start off thinking it's a yellow painting, it comes out green. I don't know if those are the exact, if that's the exact quote. Um, but at any rate, I love this. She is a trained artist. She is an educated artist. She's an experienced artist. She says, let's see if I can do it. There's also a sense of humility when we surrender to letting that energy out. We don't really know what's going to happen, right? And she even says when it happens, it's miraculous, right? So it's to have the beginner's mind. Be humble. Don't be that perfectionist. It's not going to get you anywhere. I do open mic singing, and I'm not trained, so it's just sort of comes out. And there was a woman at open mic who had such high expectations of herself, she couldn't really get herself to even sing and play the guitar, even though she had years of lessons, because she was so afraid of making a mistake. That blocks creative energy. Okay? Don't be critical of yourself. Try not to be critical of other people either. Just be helpful. So Lee, of course, is inspired by nature, right? We sometimes see floral motifs. We sometimes see leaves or even faces or eyes or animals, but it's not literal, right? It's a flow of paint and movement, sometimes like a dance of paint. Lee is also an action painter. We see the paint, the dripping, the smearing, right? The brush stroke, the marks, the movement. This is action painting. It's abstract expressionism. It's very physical. It's a physical release of energy. So on that note, I'm going to stop the screen share. And I hope this makes you want to learn more about other abstract expressionists. So if this is your first time here, come back and you can learn about the other artists in the area who also fall under this category. Every single artist is different in how they approach abstract expressionism. So now I am so pleased to introduce Lisa, who, as I said, is a yoga practitioner, and she started a course or classes called Stretch and Paint, which is really interesting. She's also a painter in her own right, working in an abstract expressionist vein. She came of age in the 70s and 80s in New York City. And today I think she's really fortunate to be bi-coastal California and New York, where she summers in on the east end of Long Island. So let's give a welcome to Lisa. And I'm going to spotlight you, Lisa, so you could say a few words and then we will go to the screen share.
Course. Hi, everybody. Welcome. And I look forward to this presentation showing you some rejuvenation techniques and loosening you up so you can do some watercolors. I I've studied many different mediums over the last few years, including painting, printmaking, and now I'm doing sculpture. So I'm taking my paintings into a three-dimensional idea now
Mhm.
with I do garden art, which is like one-sided and three-sided pieces that are paintings that are printed on aluminum to go outdoors. And I'll be showing those in the Hamptons this summer. And I'm also studying ceramics with the idea that I can paint on the clay after it's been in the kiln.
Hmm. Very nice, Lisa. So, shall I start the share?
Yes.
Great.
All right. Well, this is my garden art. Here's some pieces of I'm calling it jardin art, which is French. And these pieces, like I said, are painted on wood and then photographed and printed on weather-resistant metal with stakes that they can go in your garden. So the idea is to extend a person's art collection to the outside. Um, in some cases, they can be taken off the stake and then hung on the wall as well. But this is still developing. I'm making smaller ones now, and I'm making three-sided ones, like I said. All the Jardin art paintings were inspired by nature
Oh,
and water, earth, air, and ether, and just all the elements that I find out there on Long Island as well as on the West Coast. So the inspiration is nature. I think how I get there is through my meditation practice, which I'm going to show you all that as we go on today. And yeah, this is a smaller painting, which I did a series of very quickly recently, which was totally abstract. And I have to say that I did them pretty quickly, and I did a few of them at a time because I found that once I got started with this particular series, I just wanted to keep going with it. So I had like several paintings out at the same time. After doing some relaxation and some breathing techniques, I went into the painting and it worked. Not to say that it's always going to work if you do the breathing techniques and the meditation. It'll make you feel good, but it's a great way to start the creative process. And like Joyce says, we don't want to be judging ourselves. Like sometimes it's going to work, and sometimes it's just an exercise of exploration.
good point.
This is a print, monoprint. I've done this, I did this a couple of years ago. Again, I did a series of these, which was like swimmer oriented because that's part of my daily routine. Usually, as long as I'm near water, I like to swim every day because swimming and being in the water is the elements, and it's also super, super relaxing and tactile because you're feeling the water on your body. So I find that part of the sensory experience of breathing and visualization is also touch is involved there too. And I'm going to show you some self-massage techniques. But what I'm mentioning about the water, which is indicated here, for me, water is very tactile, like you feel it all over, and it's really good for the nervous system. So whatever way you can do that, that means taking a hot bath. That means jumping in the bay once in a while. It'll all work to help to balance the nervous system. And, when Joyce talks about mental or physical blocks, like worrying or feeling like uncomfortable in your stomach or one of these, I find that the mental and physical is directly connected. So that if you do some swimming exercise, then you're going to feel better mentally, for example. If you go out and walk in nature and then come back to your studio, you're going to feel better emotionally. And if you're feeling better emotionally, it lets off certain positive chemicals in your body. You're going to feel better physically. And one example of this that I sometimes experience is that if I'm anxious, I'm going to feel it in my stomach. So everybody holds tension in different ways. And through a meditation, you can release those parts of your body. This I did part collage. That one was part collage. I'm starting to work bigger again. I'm getting out of the long garden art. I'm still doing that, but I want to work bigger this summer. This is on raw canvas. I think I did this one on the floor. And now it's, yeah. I feel it's successful. It is successful because it indicates nature, but in a very kind of free way, and you don't necessarily have to identify it as a flower, although you probably will. I like the fact that there's different op what do you call it? Some light paint and some darker paint opacity. You can see the canvas, and other times I built it up, which is what you can do with watercolors as well.
I
You
like
can have,
those little circles, Lisa. Did you stamp with like a roll or something, those little curves?
I think that was, yeah, I had like a cup, and then I just used some of the paint that was left over, and I did that. Why do you like that? It just
I
it,
like
it,
it because it's like an element of surprise. It adds like a playful element to the painting.
yeah, that's true.
Shows play, it shows spontaneity.
Yeah. Yeah. It may have even happened haphazard a little bit,
Mhm.
like by I
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but however it happened, I did it more than once, after I said, oh, that works. Then I went to a different section of the painting and another one because as you know, as an artist, and you're all studying art right now, composition is important. If you feel like you've got some colors going and a feeling going, okay, then where does your eye go? Is it traveling around the canvas? You usually, and I learned this earlier this month, I took a film class, and the same thing for art. You look in the center of the painting, and then your eye travels from the bottom clockwise all the way down to the lower right. So, in doing that, you're going to see all these little lines and marks. But test that out the way you look at. Here's another example. We look in the middle, probably. Then your eye's going to travel to the swimmers from the left, circling around to the lower right. But what I did, it was like not unconscious, was subconscious because I cut out, this is also a monoprint. I cut out some stencils of the swimmer. I then, well, first of all, I did a monoprint with these textures. Then I cut out the stencils of the swimmers and the orbit, and I pulled it through the printing press again. So there's only one of these. It's an original, and I'm looking at making prints of prints to make it more affordable for people as well. But for now, this is an original, and I did a whole series of swimmers because, as I said before, I love swimming, yeah, and and the water. So this is another square painting that I did like a series of these, and part of this is some collage. So I did cut up some prior paintings and place them in different areas. And I worked on about five of them at a time. Same with this is part of the same series. It's a little blurry, but you get the idea of it.
Mhm.
There's collage. There's
Yeah.
what?
No, and of course, Lee Krasner was known for this technique also of cutting up or ripping up her former paintings and reconfiguring them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it gets you started to think about the whole composition and it breaks it up. And then you might get an idea with that collage piece how to balance that out with either another collage piece or paint. Hmm. This is a painting that is again garden oriented. It has a lot of texture in it. I think this painting is was on a piece of wood, like a box piece of wood that people made me to paint on, and I worked on it several different times. So there's a painting under this painting, at least one, maybe two. And then the final touches, I painted very loosely with the flowers in mind. The flowers weren't in mind right away. I just put the colors down and action painted this from an emotional place. But then I saw the flowers and I just decided to highlight them with the white. And I put some sand in it too.
Very nice.
Because I like texture
Hmm.
going in the direction. This also has, yeah, the underpainting has collage tissue paper in it, which adds like another texture. I like having an underpainting, meaning not working on a completely white canvas. So what I'll do is just stay that with that for a second, Joyce.
Here.
What I'll do is either paint the canvas lightly to get rid of the white, and then maybe collage a tissue paper onto it, or you know what I was using pattern paper from Dress Patterns because that has a nice tissuey consistency, and it also has lines. So I've used that in some of my work too because there's lines that you're starting out with, and then a little bit of structure can go a long way. Now here's the tissue paper over here on the upper right and the lower left.
Hmm. I like that contrast, Lisa, with the pattern following. It's sort of like you have to follow the directions, follow the pattern. It's very, geometric, and then you have all these spontaneous marks around it. It's really nice.
It's nice to have that contrast, yeah,
Hmm.
of the geometric and the spontaneous.
Yeah, really not good idea.
Yeah. I play music very often. When I'm painting, I get into a zone where I just put my earbuds on and listen to, sometimes I even listen to the same song. Like if it's helpful for me to just get into the flow a little bit more, I'll play the same song again, or at least the same artist. And that is familiar enough to me that it loosens me up and relaxes me. So then I can get to my subconscious creative place.
Hmm.
Um, I believe that creativity is energy, and it depends in our lives where we direct this energy. Um, of course, having a certain skill set, studying art, examining nature, drawing, painting, taking classes, that's all helpful. But it's really, really good to get into a space where you draw from your subconscious a little bit and you set aside the time to set up your work and go for it. And if it helps to play music to get you into that zone, for me that works along with the breathing techniques, dropping my shoulders, doing some head rolls to relax the vagus nerve. You know, we're all talking about the vagus nerve now. It's up at the top of that neck and it gets tight. And then that constricts the energy of the cerebral spinal fluid going up and down your body. And energetically, it constricts the chakras, which follow the cerebral spinal fluid. Like, if you want to define the chakras, it is energy moving up and down the spine. So it correlates with the fluid moving through your vertebrae. So you can approach it both ways, energetically and also physically. Does that make sense?
It does to me. Does anybody have any questions?
I absolutely agree with that.
Hmm.
I do the same
Yes,
thing with music, sometimes repetitive with the same song over and over. I do the same thing.
Mhm.
Very interesting.
yeah. It's just, it's, you just relate to the music. It makes you feel good. It frees you up. And then from there, it just like your mind is not analyzing, okay, exactly where things are going to go. Especially since now we're talking more abstractly and loosely. You can draw it out, you can observe things, but then you want to tap into your subconscious and into your energy, the energy force that is in all of us. And this energy, like I said before, can be redirected. Let's, like, yeah, in daily life, we have responsibilities, we have things that come up. You got to go back, take care of yourself, go for a walk on the beach, rejuvenate yourself, and then go back into your project, whatever that might be. It could be work or it could be your artistic project. So you've got to rejuvenate yourself.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Lisa. Should I stop the screen share now so you can guide us through some of the breathing activities?
Of course.
Okay. I really appreciate this. This is just what I needed to hear on a personal note. It's like the universe is definitely trying to tell me something. Thank you so much, Lisa. So, so would you like to show us some techniques?
Yes. All right. So the breathing techniques, there's quite a few breathing techniques. The most basic one, which you might already know, is just breathe in the cool air and exhale the warmer air. So breathe in the cool air through your nose, exhale the warmer air through your mouth. One more time. Inhale, cool air, exhale, warmer air. Then you can think of elongating it a little bit. Inhale, it's called the box breath. Inhale, hold the breath, exhale, hold the breath. Inhale, hold the breath at the top, exhale, hold the breath. The box breath. Let's do it again. Inhale the cool air, hold, exhale the warmer air, pause. And the reason you're pausing, especially at the end of the exhale, is sometimes we breathe on top of a breath. We don't exhale completely. So the exhale is when you release stress. The inhale, I like to think of inhale as bringing in the energy, exhale is releasing stress. And you can practice, okay, so that's one breathing technique, which is really easy to practice wherever you are. I practice this when I'm driving. I practice this before I get in up in the morning, before I go to bed at night, or if I happen to wake up in the middle of the night. What do? I do some breathing exercises. And this is the box one, the cool air in, the warmer air out is a very basic one. And I will add one more element to the box breath and to the breathing, which is so, we don't think of it, but the lungs and the lungs are inside the rib cage. And when you're breathing, I want you to think three-dimensionally. Just for a moment now, relax your shoulders here while you're breathing. Let's do some shoulder rolls. Let me see those shoulder rolls. Bring the energy down to your shoulders because that's going to release your neck and get the circulation moving through your spine. Okay? So you can combine, you can do a few rotations like this to loosen up your rib cage and shoulders. Then you can go like this with your arms. Inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Inhale to the left, exhale to the right. So you can do that slowly or you can speed it up if you want more energy. And I would say do that 10 times. Now, I also love this new image that I have of breath. Very good, Jules. I see that you're doing that with the swing in the arms. Why a spinal twist is really important is because it really, as you can tell, loosens up the spine, and balances out the muscles there. And then it frees you up to just use both hands if you want to in the process, also when you start creating. Now, Tracy, I see that you're doing it, but like try to involve your head too as you're doing it. I know you're watching me, but when you're doing
Yeah.
the spinal twist,
Yeah, I was doing that before. I was thinking, not to interrupt you, sorry. I was thinking about maybe people that might find that uh kind of head swimmy a little bit with dizziness. I like
right,
maybe spotting yourself as you're doing it a bit.
spotting is good.
Yeah.
Also do it slower. You can do it slower. And to remember, like I said, even if you're doing a quicker breath, exhale completely. Blow it out of your mouth. For this breath, it's a little bit more energizing, so you can force the air out a little bit more. Inhale, exhale. And just do that one 10 times. And then pause and then maybe do it again. So if you're setting up your paints and you want to do one of these breathing techniques, I just do 10 times one or two of the breathing techniques and then start painting. And then if you feel blocked, you can always do again another conscious breath. And check yourself when we're doing the box breath or the in and out, the cool air, the warm air. Put your hands on your tummy occasionally and make sure that just feel the air come in and out. You want to feel it in your tummy because that means you're taking a deep breath. Because anatomically, and I'm a massage therapist and a yoga teacher, anatomically, what is happening is that you're taking in oxygen and then the diaphragm muscle moves down and your tummy comes out on the inhale, in on the exhale. Make sense? Sometimes we do it the other way around, like we'll like suck in air and hold our breath. But for deep breathing relaxation purposes, relax your tummy. And that you can practice. A good place to practice relaxing the belly breath is again initially when you wake up in the morning and before you go to sleep. Then you're going to be able to, once you get familiar with some of the breathing techniques, you're going to be able to call on that in stressful situations. You're going to also be able to call on that when you want to tap into your creativity. Like, am I holding my breath here? Which might mean anticipation. What am I going to do? Thinking too much. Just let it go. Realize, and you'll see in the exercise that we do today that, some things work. You might not, some things don't, but it's all exploration. And then if you practice enough, you're going to come up with some good drawings. And just as important is that you're going to feel good. You're going to feel good because you're breathing more in a more full way and feeling the sensations in your body, the energy in your body. It also, I find, helps you get in touch with your emotions too, like not bottling things up. And if we don't want to bottle, once we start freeing up our emotions, that's another element. There's the mental, the physical, and the emotional, right? And I feel like when I'm in the flow of painting, my emotions are involved in the painting. I hope that when people see some art of mine, that more than identifying it's a flower or like a swimmer, I hope they feel an emotion or like it ignites an emotion in them. So when you go to see art, you also you're feeling an emotion. When you're doing art, you're feeling an emotion. So people ask me very often, what's the name of that painting? And I say, well, I change my mind all the time about it because I'm not attached to the title of the painting. It's more like I say, well, the important thing is how does it make you feel to look at it? Exhale. You know. So that direction, one of the directions that my art is taking is for healing purposes. Everybody needs healing, right? Everybody needs relaxation. So I feel that my art, because of my background in meditation, yoga, and exercise, it is calming people down. It's like giving them a lighter feeling, maybe an inspiration. Um, and and I can do some massage. I can do some massage with somebody, but very often I'm sending them an image to brighten them up, like if they're not feeling good. As well as like, yeah, reminding them to breathe, you know. Um, and uh, okay, so other exercises. All right, so we have the breath. Another one is the wave breath. I like to play ocean music. I have a recording, which I think Joyce is going to play for us a little later, which is the ocean. And the rhythm of the ocean is connected to the rhythm of the breath. It's like the breath of the earth. When you go down to the sea, you're feeling those waves coming in, going out. So I have an ocean recording, which I'd be happy to share with anybody. Maybe Joyce can post the one. Um, and you can play it while you're doing your breathing techniques. For me, the ocean is a big, big, big inspiration, as well as the trees and the flowers and the sky. I get a good feeling from nature. And then integrating that with the senses that we feel, smelling, tasting, touching, hearing, seeing. Um, I did a presentation a while back where I did integrate all that in a group setting. We did the visual, the audio, similar to what we're doing here. Then I did some self tapping and aromatherapy, and then a little like cookie at the end, you know. Everybody knows the pleasures of food, but you know, that's one of the five senses. Okay, let me show you this wonderful tool that you can get on Amazon. It's called a gua sha. And why I'm showing it to you today is because for me, it relieves a lot of stress. You get the stone, you can massage your scalp and get the circulation going there. Wake up in the morning, massage your scalp. It's really good if people tend to get headaches. Then around the ears, forehead, okay? Then you bring it down. If you're following me, you can just do it with your hands right now. And then I'll show you that where you can get this. But you can do it with your hands too. You want to open up the lymphatic system. Then you go to the top of the head and zigzag it a bit around the eyes. This increases collagen also in the face, as well as relieving tension. Then you go from the nose to the cheek 3 times, the nose to the cheek, very lightly. Men can do this too. Children can do it as well. Then you go up and down the mouth and around. And then you finish off by going up If any of you have had facials, you know you want to go up to the temple, up to the temple. Then you go to finish off, you go down one side of the neck, down the other side of the neck, and you finish in the heart chakra here. This I take with me everywhere. Like if I'm in a movie house, I usually bring this along. I have it in my car. I mean, it's just a great self-care tool. And I think on my YouTube, I have a slower version of the whole sequence that you can check out. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the chakras. And as you can see here, I don't know how much of this you can see, guys, but the chakras are vortexes in the body that are inside the body. They're, I guess you would call kind of not metaphysical, but they're imaginary vortexes that travel through the body that are good for meditation. And whether you can close your eyes and visualize these, or you just think about the chakras, that is tapping into certain areas of the body. Okay, so let me go over this quickly with the chakras. The red one is the pelvic floor, which is connected to security and vitality and strength. The orange one is the belly button area and the lower back. And that's about compassion and creativity, passion and creativity, which kind of go together if you think about it. Those energy sources, passion and creativity. Yellow is the solar plexus, which everybody knows where the solar plexus is, right underneath the sternum. And inside, think inside yourself, not just on the surface. There's that yellow sun shining in your solar plexus, and it's shining out in all directions, not just forward, but sides and back. Think of that sunshine there and breathe into it and can feel the relaxation happening in your middle back. Okay, this is self-esteem, self-confidence. Very important to tune into this on a daily basis. Green is heart chakra. Love, compassion, forgiveness, relationship. Green, think of plants, think of trees. Think of just the lovely shades of green that you can bring into your heart chakra. I sometimes like to think of a little pink in the heart chakra too, because I relate that to the heart, pink and green. Okay, then there's blue, which is communication, which is the throat. Talking, listening, and expressing yourself. Singing would come into this too, humming. So if you're feeling tension around the neck, it's good to think about blue, and it's good to make some sounds. This is indigo, third eye, intuition. We all want to tap into our intuition. It's right there, the third eye. It's also as you meditate on that third eye, it helps to balance the right and the left side of your brain. Some of us are more impulsive, some are more logical. You want to get like ideally a combination of that, balance. And the top chakra is lavender, which is which is the spiritual chakra in any way that you want to define that. It could be just nature is your spiritual belief, or whatever religion it is, or universal energy, source energy, spirituality, meditation of some form, prayer. So these are the chakras. And this is a garden piece, so this can go outside or inside. And then I did several different versions of it too. I did one on paper with different uh, images of the body going through the chakras as well. Um, and I'm thinking about making like a t-shirt with that or something, or a yoga mat. Do you think that's a good idea? Okay, so the chakras. So let me show you another one. This is this is one that was also inspired by nature, flowers that was done on a long piece of wood with collage. And I'd say they're all chakra inspired. This one also is the orange chakra. So in today's what I'd like to share with you today is painting from the chakras, meaning I can either I'll go over them a little bit more and if there's time, Joyce, but I just want people to see which chakra, which one they feel would benefit the most right now from breathing into it and just focusing on those colors. Okay? Just pick one, don't overthink it. Like for me it's going to be the heart chakra. And I'm just going to do, do some breaths and think of that part of my body. And then I'm going to go into an abstract idea of it. Now, if you want to look at something and then abstract it, that's fine. I actually have some flowers that I also brought here that can kind of like maybe stimulate you. If you want to initially look at something in nature, or if you have some flowers or a plant around, or you want to look at my plant, do that. But I want you to then think of that chakra and come from that place as much as you can.
Lisa,
It'll,
can I ask you a question? Should I show that video you sent?
yes.
Should I show it now or wait?
Why don't we show it now? Because it goes over the chakras.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good inspiration. So let me just pull it up. And thank
Okay.
you so much, Lisa. This is so wonderful. Really
Thank
appreciate
you. Okay, yeah, the video is going to show and talk about each one of the chakras, and some of the images that are in my prints are in the video.
it. Okay, so hold on
Mhm.
one moment. Let me just.
Breathe, everybody. When you're waiting for something, it's always good to do a few nice long breaths too.
Okay, so I'm going to do a little screen share.
Mhm. This is very short
Welcome to
video,
Chakra
guys.
Reboot. Soften your eyes and follow the colors. Red is for security. Orange is creativity. Yellow is for self-love and confidence.
Joyce, we can't hear it too well.
Green is
I don't know if I can adjust that. I'll try. I think the sound is a little low on the video, Lisa, because my sound is up as high as it is, and I do have the sound share with Zoom. So if just we'll do the best we can for now, and you can listen, you can also enjoy the images.
Let's just like rewind it a tiny bit here, just so because it's not that long. Let's start it at the beginning again. Okay.
Welcome to Chakra Reboot. Soften your eyes and follow the colors. Red is for security. Orange is creativity. Yellow is for self-love and
Self-love.
confidence. Green is love
Green is love.
and forgiveness. Blue is communication.
Blue is communication.
Indigo is insight and intuition.
Insight and intuition.
Purple is bliss and the higher power.
Bliss and the higher power.
I love
All
that,
right.
Lisa. That's really, really well done. Simple and to the point. Thank you.
I just have to fix the volume.
The
Oh,
volume, well, if it's on Zoom, the volume doesn't come across also as loud, so.
oh,
But
all right.
great job, great job. So should
Yeah.
we gather up some supplies now, Lisa, and get to work?
Yes, let's do that. And I will also paint along with you guys. Again, just free yourself up. I don't know if you're painting in watercolors. One tip I will give you for painting in watercolors, which I like to do, is wet the paper.
Do you want to put your camera like you just had it facing the paper, Lisa? Because that was good.
I
What
had
you
it
just
facing.
do? Oh yeah, yeah. If you tilt it, you just moved your camera. Okay, either way is fine. You can move.
Just
You can tilt your camera so it faces the desktop, or you could lift it up. Whatever you. Oh yeah, very good. Okay, now we can
okay.
see the paper.
Good, good,
Excellent.
good.
Just scoot it over a little. Oh, perfect. Right there. Beautiful.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Now, I started here by doing a couple of little spirals because I like spirals. So I started with some spirals with the pencil. You can do it with your watercolors. Then I'm going to just wet the whole, oh, I'm going to use this sponge here and wet the paper. Yeah. So you wet it, and then you'll see what that does to the paint. Once you wet it, you then can go in and the pigment's going to do its own thing to a point too, because it's wet on wet. Watercolor really likes water. And if you, yeah, so have fun with wet on wet. Breathe. So I'm going to do all different shades of heart chakra green here. Breathing each time, making sure that I'm just in the flow. Oh, Joyce, do we have the ocean music?
Oh, sure. Good
Yeah.
idea. Okay. I'll
Now
try.
this,
Okay. I will see if it comes through
yeah,
on Zoom, but I will play it.
yeah, I have a recording of the Montauk Ocean that I made like 20 years ago.
Can people hear this?
I
Can
don't
you
hear
hear it,
it.
Lisa?
No, I don't hear it, but
In order for me to play it, I would have to, no, we would have to do a Zoom share, and we would have to
yeah, it might be
you can't
too
see
late.
what you're doing.
It may be yeah. If I play it on my phone, will it come through?
Probably not.
No, on Zoom, it kind of blocks all background noise. So that's why, like, no.
Okay. So guys, you're gonna just imagine the ocean, okay?
Or you know what, everybody, you could also pull up if you want a music or an ocean sound, you could also Google that on your own. You could look that up for yourself as you paint. So you could
That
also do that.
yeah. I find the ocean really great. I also have recordings of a stream and I have a recordings of birds.
Joyce,
I
is there a link to share that music that you have? Is there a link for it?
yeah,
No,
Okay, all right.
of the
Um,
ocean one.
no,
yeah,
there's no link because it's on my desktop.
Oh, okay, no worries, no
But
worries.
if you Google ocean sounds, you'll come up with the sound effect on your computer.
Yeah.
And you can pull up almost any sound now.
Yeah, I mean, I can send you the recording and we could somehow share it with everybody for later on. I mean, right now it's difficult because we're on Zoom, but Joyce, if you that link that I sent you of the Montauk Ocean, maybe you can put that in the share.
Well, there's no link. It's just the actual, there's no link. It's not like posted online. It's like
Okay,
it's an attachment that's on my desktop.
got it. Okay.
I mean, if you want, I'll stop the share for, how about I'll stop the, I'll do screen share for a second so people can hear. So let me,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
you can hear it, right?
Yes.
minute.
In the ocean.
Get ready to get out of the ocean.
You're so good. Now I did two quickly because I wanted to tap into my self-confidence a little bit more too. So
Uh,
I
I love that, Lisa. Beautiful.
I did
So, yeah, go ahead.
well, yeah, I may go back to the heart one, which is here. Um, but or I may not, you know. I'm the direction I'm going in with my art is 3D first of all, but also simplicity. So for me, I'm paring down my design elements, but everybody's got their own style, and I don't even analyze it until after I look at it sometime. And then I say, oh, yeah, that one looks good because it's more minimal. But the thing is, just get into the flow and don't judge yourself as you're doing it. Then you can step back after you've done some paintings and add to it and say, yeah, I want to go more in that direction. Um, and then breathe and then continue, you know. So it's like I find like doing art is doing it, then stepping back and looking at it the next day, or in some cases just stepping back, taking a walk in nature and going back into it.
Mhm. Okay,
That-
everybody, I'll tell you.
May I ask a question of
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Let's take some time for questions. Lisa, can you tilt your camera back up so if people have questions, you can answer? That's wonderful. Yeah, go ahead, Elwinder.
it's Veronica. You keep
Oh,
getting us
Veronica.
mixed up.
Oh, sorry, Veronica.
I'm gonna change my name. We should use letters, V and W. How's that? Okay. I noticed you wet your paper, right? That was the first step, and then you used watercolor. And then what was the next step? I saw you using a marker, or was it a pencil?
Pencil.
Colored pencils is what you're, or
No, just like
black and white?
I like lead pencils these days. Because the color is coming in from the watercolor. I like different consistencies. There's the what is there, Joyce? The HB and the H. There's the
Yes.
HB and
The H's are harder.
right.
The B's get softer. So a 6B is super soft and thick. And H6 is very hard and thin and delicate. But I think the idea, Veronica, is maybe Lisa just gave some inspiration to play around with mixing different kinds of markers with watercolor. You can use just about it. You could use Sharpie markers. You could use crepe oil pastels. You could use colored pencils. So I would suggest just try mixing media.
So it's not that you waited until the paper dried either, right? Like it
No,
was still wet and you were able to, because I would think you might have an issue with using like pastels or something on a wet paper.
well, pencil, no. Maybe if I was sometimes I use ink, an ink pen. And that will run just as watercolors would. So depending, I mean, you can let it run, or you could wait till it dries. It doesn't take that long to dry, and then you can draw into it with the ink pen. And the nice thing about the fountain pen, the ink pen, is that it's really dark. You know, I don't. You can put some really dark emphasis in certain places.
It was
More,
just cool. So I guess that the pencil just kind of highlighted the color that was already there.
yes, and it gave a different shape and a different me I mean, just like people will notice, okay, that's not watercolor, what is it? Or, you know, it brings your eye around again. If it were all watercolor, loosely painted with no focal point, I mean, that's a style too, but I like to have things that people can like jump their eye to, as well as that's what I like to do while I'm creating too. Like I like the looseness, but then I like to put in some collage or some circular or spiral shapes. so that there's a contrast of sorts going on.
Thank you. I get it. The mixture of media. Very, very cool. I can't believe we just whipped that up.
Well, when you whip something up, as you say, Veronica, it takes, a lifetime of practice to whip something up. It takes a lifetime to practice to be like that baker who just bakes like the perfect croissant, but they practice. So, and then it just, you know how it is. It's just like, wow, look at me, I'm playing the piano, or look at me, I'm painting. And all of you are
So true.
also amazing with where you are right now. So wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. So take it from there, but maybe also get out of your comfort zone a little bit at a time. So you add a little, you try new things, things you've never tried. And it's also really, really good for brain health. Don't get stuck in a rut. Even when you master something, take examples from Lisa and other, great artists. Like Picasso mastered something, then he went on and he tried something else. He was always had a beginner's mind, even though he was a master, a prodigy, even as a child. Does that make sense? Yeah. So,
Yeah,
any other questions?
sign up for a class occasionally or take a life drawing class or like stimulate yourself that way and then go back into your zone. Like music is really an inspiration for me too. So what I've taken to do now, and I'll do this on the East End this summer, I take my watercolor pad and I go to hear music, which is a lot of music, live music. And then I'm inspired by the sounds because I feel like that's vibration too, that's energy, and it's really fun to paint to live music.
That's a great idea, Lisa. Now, everybody, we're going to have to close, but Lisa, so when you come this summer, where can people, or just in general, where can people find your classes if they want to sign up or learn more about your art and your classes? Do you have a website?
Yes,
And what
yes.
is the website? Can you verbalize it?
It's lisatrivell.com.
You want to put it in the chat for everybody?
Yeah. And also you can find me on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram if any of you are, and I'll be announcing things directly on Instagram. Um, and I have a YouTube channel too. But if you want to reach me quickly, or Instagram is good, or you can look at the website. But sometimes I update Instagram quicker than the website. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, message everybody. It's lisatrivell.com. So yeah. Oh, I want to teach more of these stretch and sketch classes. So if you have groups or if you know people that want to put together groups for stretch and sketch, that's really interesting to me. I also might have an art show that I'll announce on Instagram. And I do work with people privately doing body work and visualization.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much. And Cindy says, Lisa, can we see your painting again?
Oh,
Can you show it again?
yeah. Second one, I mean, I did two.
Very nice, Lisa. I love the contrast. Very nice. Great
I,
example.
I didn't see anybody else's paintings though. Where are
Okay,
they?
I'll tell you what, we could go quickly. So, what I'd like everybody to do is hold up your painting. I'm going to put this on gallery view. Everybody put gallery view. I took the spotlight off, and then you will be able to see everybody's. And I'm going to spotlight very quickly. We're not going to share because we are running over. So, here is wonderful Tracy. Okay, Tracy, go ahead. Quickly tell us what you were thinking. Which chakra is that?
Um, Working on self. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Self-confidence,
Yeah.
self.
Self-awareness, thinking about things that I need to think about for myself at this moment.
Right.
Just dancing that brush around and feeling the movement of the watercolor, and it got certain parts of it got really grainy, which was I really enjoyed that.
I like the yellow goldish with the brown, what appears to be brown on Zoom. It's really beautiful. And it matches your blouse.
Thank you.
Very often that happens. The more that you get in touch with color, you start to wear the colors that make you feel good. Like you're wearing yellow. I'm
100%.
wearing pink, you know? Yeah.
Absolutely. So how about Veronica? Veronica, I think you're on Blur. So we're going to go to Susan and then come back to Veronica. You have to fix your Zoom. Oh, I love that, Susan. Which chakra? What would you like to say? Can you unmute, Susan?
Okay, I was thinking of communication and connecting with people.
Very
I
nice.
like that.
And I decided I like working with ink.
Yeah, I
Um,
like it. I like the way it's all intertwined.
well, that's
Nice.
how I wanted it, to be connected.
Very nice. I like the way it goes also from shapes to linear and the abstraction, the white spaces. Very
Right.
nice. And how about Veronica? Thank you, Susan. Let me spotlight Veronica.
Ooh.
Nice. Tell us about this one, Veronica. Which chakra were you thinking about? Can you unmute, Veronica? Veronica, you're muted if you want to say something.
I was thinking music, communication, and how when you have like a those amplifier thingies, how the sound just like drips and spills out all over the place, even though it's directed a certain way. That
That's
was my
really
thinking.
nice, Veronica. Good job.
And then I added a little green.
It's really nice. And here's a tip, which sounds obvious, but if you don't want to fill in that excess white space that's to the side,
This,
cut the paper the other side where yeah, there's white space there. If you don't want to fill that in, you are free to cut the paper. Use a really good straight edge, get it straight and cut it, and then you can recompose your picture that way. And some people just don't think of that. They feel like they're married to the original size. But very good, very
gotcha.
nice.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Lisa, anybody have any comments? Lisa, do you have any comments for anybody?
I
Well,
just
I
had a
feel
comment.
like I'm really impressed by what everybody did and just to continue as an exercise with color and connecting to what part of the body that might be coming from and what feeling that might be coming from.
hmm I'll show mine quickly. Lisa, thank
Well,
you so much because you really helped me to get to relax. I really appreciate your generosity of time today. I know you have many things going on in your life, so that was mine. This was my heart chakra,
Yeah.
hopefully radiating out. But what's interesting, I did this years ago on the heart chakra, and you can radiate too much. I'm so empathetic that I had to learn in my lifetime to set boundaries. So you can use your voice too much and not let other people speak, right? You can anything overdone turns into not a good thing. So it's all about balance. But I think I have a good balance now. Um, but thank you, Lisa. You inspired me because I don't like to swim. I don't like to get wet. I don't like to get cold. I I'm scared of ticks, so I don't go. I don't go on hikes. I'm not a nature girl. I prefer culture and getting my nails done. So you inspired me. I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to the ocean right now after this Zoom. Thank you so much because it is true. It's so pleasant, and we all have beauty around us, regardless of where we live. Even in the most busy suburban place, you can usually find nature, even if it's in a potted plant or your own garden or even a pot on your terrace, whatever. So, or just looking up at the moon or the sky. So, I really do appreciate this was a great reminder. And on behalf of the Pollock Krasner House and Study Center, thank you everybody for sharing. And let's give a big thank you to our guest speaker, Lisa Trivell. And I can't wait to see you this summer. Any closing remarks, Lisa?
Well, it was a pleasure. I love teaching and sharing. And yeah, I just encourage you all to get in touch with me one way or another so I can let you know what I'm doing this summer if you'd like to come to a workshop or create one, okay?
Very good. And it's Lisa Trivell, Trivell.
Or make an appointment, a healing appointment. I'm going to be doing that too.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon
Thank
or
you.
evening. Thank you, Lisa. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
participating.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great.